first channel I ever created took off without me not really knowing much about YouTube or anything. Started new channels and same results were happening. So I was like, hey, I think I know something about YouTube. The main thing that I do right now is I have a media marketing agency helping clients build and grow their YouTube channels. There's only like 10% of channels out there that are actually monetized. I've been able to build and grow 7 channels to get monetized.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm back in Bangkok. Today I'm with Damien, my new friend, who is also a YouTuber. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Hi everyone, I'm Davian and I'm from the US. I'm Vietnamese American and I've been living in Thailand since last March officially.
That's like almost a year. So Thailand is the first country you have ever lived in abroad, right? Like
Yes.
outside the US. Why did you choose Thailand?
So with Thailand, I just always had a love for Thailand. Dating back to my very first trip here 11 years ago.
Wow.
I came here with no knowledge of Thailand,
Okay.
no expectations whatsoever. And I came here before Grab, before any of those new technology even existed. But instantly when I got to Chiang Mai, I just fell in love with just the vibe, the culture, especially the food. I'm a big foodie. So the food, especially in Chiang Mai, northern Thai food is my favorite. And it just captivated me. And Thailand, since then, always had a special place in my heart. Even though I'm Vietnamese, Vietnam, I can navigate very well. And I know the culture very well. But it just didn't speak the same to me. So with Thailand, I always knew that I was always going to come back. And I've been traveling to Thailand at least once or twice every year for vacation until finally I decided like it's time to come here and live here longer term.
That's actually an interesting choice because you're Vietnamese and you speak Vietnamese. Because the thing is, like, Vietnam is such a popular place for people to move to, especially like among European.
Yes.
I'm not so sure about American, but I know a lot of European that they love Vietnam so much and they swear that it's their favorite country in Southeast Asia.
I think like I agree. There's a lot of foreigners that lives in Thailand, and I mean Vietnam.
Yeah.
But I think with Vietnam, there's like I asked my friends this too, like both Vietnamese and non-Vietnamese. Vietnam is one of those countries. Same with Thailand. You either you like it very much, or you just like it to like visit, and it's okay.
Yeah, I get it.
I have a lot of my Vietnamese friends who have moved to Vietnam ask me the same thing.
Yeah.
And they're always like, why Thailand over Vietnam?
Yeah.
And for me, the feeling I get in Thailand is very hard to explain. And when I talk to other people that feels the same way, when I ask them like, or tell them like, there's a certain feeling you get when you arrive in Thailand, and it's just very hard to describe. And everyone says the exact same thing. I know what you're talking about, but we can't describe it.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
Okay. Do you also think it's because of like the people, the culture, like that make Thailand like really special?
I think so. I think they're a big part of it, you know, because everyone here, for the most part, in my experience, everyone's very respectful and just very kind. As long as you're kind and polite to them, everyone's very friendly.
I agree.
You know, I've heard stories about foreigners getting into different interactions or getting rude treatments from Thai people and things like that. But I think in general, like for the most part, wherever you travel in the world, as long as you treat others with respect and politeness, you'll get that in return.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Chiang Mai and now like you're in Bangkok.
Right.
So where else in Thailand have you lived in?
I've stayed in Chiang Mai for like over a month.
Okay.
I loved it there. That would be my first choice to live there if I didn't have things going on here, mainly for my YouTube content.
Got it.
I've been to Phuket. I've been to Koh Samui and Krabi.
Okay.
I like Krabi a lot.
Yes.
Koh Samui is very nice. But so those two, I would stay over Phuket.
For sure.
Yeah. And then Chiang Mai is because I love nature.
Yes.
So Chiang Mai is just like the place where you can do a lot of that.
Yeah.
And it's also, I feel it's a lot more relaxed vibe. It's a lot more chill, a little slower pace, but not too slow.
So you think that like in Bangkok, you can find your community here easier than in other places in Thailand?
It depends on what kind of community you're looking for. I think with Chiang Mai, there's a lot of like digital nomads.
Yes.
There's a lot of new entrepreneurs
Right.
or established entrepreneurs up there.
Yeah.
Here in Bangkok, I think it's a little more challenging to find that community just because everyone is so big. Bangkok is so big and everyone's so spread out.
Right.
You know, so it's very hard to find like a concentrated area.
Yeah.
Versus like places like Chiang Mai where it's smaller. So and there's only so many places people can hang around or be at. So it's a little easier to gravitate, I think, or to find a community in Chiang Mai versus Bangkok. But it also just depends on.
But then it's easier to find content creator in Bangkok, right?
Yes.
There's so many in
There's
Bangkok.
so many here.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite content creator in Bangkok?
Favorite content creator, Oppo.
Okay, yeah, I've seen her channel. I love her channel.
She's very, I'm friends with her. She's very nice, very kind, very outgoing, very cool person to be around.
Yes.
Roman, he's like this tall Ukrainian guy. He does food content and he does content interviewing people. And he's a very cool guy as well. But other than that, I haven't met too many content creators. I'm just slowly beginning to like reach out
to meet people
more, to try to connect more with people.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like for me personally, I moved back to Thailand in 2023.
Right.
And I would say the content creator I've seen the most on my Instagram feed are Sam Tyler.
Yes. I'm familiar with him.
Leon. Have you seen his video?
No, not his yet.
Yeah, so I think they both like to show about the lifestyle in Thailand and Bangkok, like similar type of content.
Yeah, but you said there's a lot of content creators here.
So many in Bangkok. And the funny thing is that like even though I don't know them personally, they're a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like once you're like in this content creator like community, it's just so easy to meet like another content creator.
Right.
Yeah. And I do agree with you that I think in Bangkok it's much easier to meet another content creator.
Yeah.
But it's harder to meet like the digital nomad entrepreneur type, like the type of people you would meet in Chiang Mai or Bali, for example. Yeah. So let's talk a bit about like what you do. So of course you're a content creator, but you also have like other businesses as well. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't categorize myself as a content creator just yet. I just do it mainly for fun. But my main thing that I do right now is I have a media marketing agency focused on and specialize on helping clients build and grow their YouTube channels. I took a dive into that about 3 years ago. I actually came to Thailand for like 2 months just to take a dive and experiment with YouTube. Just because content over here is a lot easier to do and there's a lot more interesting things versus like the States.
Why would you say that?
In terms of like the content that I like to create, or I like to do like food things to do. Just because like, I'm sure you lived in the OC, in the OC, it's a very kind of like same day-to-day kind of life that you live once you start. Once you're in the working world.
I think I have a different perspective on it. It's because I'm not from there, but you're from there.
Yeah.
So it's like when you come to Thailand, you have like this fresh perspective of Thailand. So everything is like exciting for you. And in a similar way, when I went to the state in OC, like, there's so many interesting restaurants like for me there as well.
For sure. I could definitely see that.
Like there's so many restaurants I miss from the OC. Yeah.
There's great food in OC. There's a lot of great food in OC.
Yes.
So that's the main project I'm working on right now, is just continuing to help clients grow their YouTube channels and also manage my own as well. And then from there on, I'm looking for opportunities within Bangkok itself, because I feel there's a lot of opportunities here.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of figuring out how to navigate the landscape
Yeah.
and do it correctly.
Got it.
If you know what I mean.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. So then, if I would have to use one word to describe you, I think you would consider yourself an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I've been
Yeah.
an entrepreneur since I was 21.
Wow.
My first business was in the fitness training world, and I did that for about 11 years.
Yeah.
And then I moved into the bakery world. And
Very contrasting.
yeah, there's two different
Yeah.
extremes. But I joke around with people that back then it was a job security. You know, to have both industries. Like
Yeah.
I would train clients, get them in great shape, and then as a reward, send them to a bakery because everyone loves desserts.
Everyone loved this.
And then once
Yeah.
they get to the bakery, they eat some desserts.
Yeah.
Then they have to come back and burn all that
Of course.
calories off.
Yeah.
You know, so it was job security with me creating a whole full
For
cycle.
sure. Then you keep making it's like an infinite money loop.
Yeah. So that was the running joke at the time, but it was just me pursuing things I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big foodie, but I love desserts. Desserts is like my number one thing. So at that time in the Orange County, the food industry was booming because this was, I would say, around like 2014, 2015 when social media started growing really fast.
Yes.
And the first wave of influencers started happening. And that's when a lot of new restaurant concepts started coming out.
Got
Like
it.
cool concepts or things that look unique. So the restaurant industry and dessert industry as a whole during that time experienced a huge boom. So I just saw opportunity with my favorite desserts and just decided to go for it because everything just lined up. And you know, I always follow the philosophy of life is short. If the opportunity is there and you're able to do it, just go for it and then learn as you go kind of thing. Because I had no knowledge of the restaurant industry or even just anything about desserts.
You just have real like pure passion.
Pure
for it.
passion for just business and just whatever industry or niche I was jumping in.
That's
and then
amazing.
it was just figuring out from there.
Yeah. And I think similarly with like YouTube management, right? You have a passion for YouTube.
Yes.
And that's why you started this business.
Yeah, YouTube, it just started as me always wanting to have a YouTube channel to do food reviews because I love food and I've always wanted to do that. But with my prior businesses, I didn't have time to do that until I left them and didn't have them anymore.
Yeah.
And then so that's when I decided to go to Thailand, try it out. And the first channel I ever created took off out of nowhere without me not really knowing much about YouTube or anything. So I started experimenting and then I started new channels and the same results were happening. So I was like, hey, I think I know something about YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And growing channels and
Yeah.
getting monetized. So why don't I try testing it out with some friends? Because I had friends who had like specialized knowledge or I saw potential of them being really good at YouTube, but they just didn't know how to get started or just didn't have time. So I approached them and I was like, hey, let's try this out. Let's partner up and you don't have to do anything different. We're just going to take what you're already doing and put it on video and put it on the internet
Got
and then see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
So it was very low risk for them. And then the opportunities for it to become something was there.
Yeah.
You know, as long as I did something correctly and we maintained the consistency. And then one thing after another, it just grew into a little business itself. So that's what I'm focusing on now.
Can you talk to me more about like how you help people grow their YouTube channel? Do you start from like the beginning,
Yeah.
or you take people who already have a YouTube channel and help them grow further?
So I've done both. Most of my clients and channels that I've worked on, I've started from scratch.
Wow.
And to this, so I've only been doing this for about 2 years now, and I've been able to build and grow 7 channels to get monetized.
That's amazing.
That's the first.
All 7 channels.
All 7 channels. That's the
Wow.
first start. That's always the
Wow.
first goal with clients.
Right.
Because getting monetized is actually not easy at all.
No.
Because you need at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 public watch hours.
Yes.
And that's the hardest part.
I agree. The 1,000 subscriber is the easiest part, and the 4,000 watch hour is the hardest part.
Yeah, and I'm in masterminds and groups that, and I see hundreds of people posting all the time. They're saying they've been at YouTube for years and still not monetized or this and that. So it takes a lot. And there's only like 10% of channels out there that are actually monetized. So I've been able to help clients from scratch. And then also clients who already had a channel, they would come to me and they're not monetized yet. I help them get monetized as the first step. But then my whole service with them is I help them with the content ideation, because I'm the one that sit down and do the research, see what kind of topics that can potentially do well on their channels. I analyze the numbers and data constantly with them. And then if we have any sponsorships that inquire for potential collaborations, I handle all the sponsorship and negotiations for that. And then I maintain their upload schedule. For editing, I only offer basic editing for them because I'm not an editor. So I'm not specialized, I'm not an expert at it. So if they're okay with just basic things, then I do that for them. But if they wanted like a specific style and specific graphics and all of that, then they have their own editor, and all they would do is send me the videos and then I take care of the rest.
Nice.
So basically they just have to show up on camera and create whatever content they're talking about, and then that's it. From there on is hands off, and then I just do the rest, and they just wait for some money to come in every month.
Wow. It sounds like life is on easy mode for them. But how do you get people who are like not a content creator to get on camera in the first place?
You know, like some of my friends, they were never content creators, but you know, I would see like they would post like a selfie video or them talking on Instagram stories.
Okay.
Or if I know they have the personality that can do very well on YouTube, I would just like throw it out there to them. I would just be like, hey, you should start a YouTube channel, or with your knowledge, you should start one day, because it doesn't hurt. It's just free marketing for whatever business you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
And then because also my first year doing YouTube, I was spending about 40 to 50 hours on average a week on the platform.
Yeah.
Just constantly doing research, analyzing and watching different videos of different content creators, big and small. So I've seen a lot, and I see what works and what doesn't work. And, you know, that's how I approach them. And if they are interested in that, then the conversation moves forward. And then I just give them tips like, hey, you should get started. And then others who are interested in getting started with me, then that's where it goes into further discussions with that. Yeah.
Got it. And what are the biggest channels you are helping, like managing right now?
So I have all my channels. They're all different niches. Like there's one that I'm working on right now, which is called Grafting Dragon Fruit. And basically, the creator Richard Lee, he helps people grow dragon fruits. And
I love dragon fruit.
When I first heard about it, I was like, what?
Yeah.
you know? But with YouTube, there's an audience for everyone.
Right,
and
for sure.
everything. So he's been able to carve that niche out. And right now, I believe it's the biggest channel on YouTube teaching people how to grow dragon fruits.
Of course.
Yeah, specifically just that. It's very niche, but he has a huge audience of like 128,000 subscribers, I believe. Either 126 or 128,000 subscribers. And he's just basically doing what he's doing every day.
That's a lot of people that want to grow dragon fruits.
Yeah. And it booms really fast and really big during the COVID years because everyone was stuck at home.
Of course.
So they were trying to find a new hobby. And I have another client who does muscle body therapy. And he helps a lot of bodybuilding competition competitors, athletes. And he does that, and he's at like 164,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ranges that
Uh-huh.
I'm working with, and like a lot of the channels are on the smaller side, but that's just because they're barely getting started.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's just a matter of like finding the right combination of content and what works and what doesn't work.
So with these two channels, how long have they been like running their channels?
So with the Dragon Fruit channel, he started that channel back in around 2019, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the muscle body work therapy, that channel has officially been just a year and a half.
That's very new.
It's very new.
Wow.
It's very new. So we barely completed like a full year.
Uh-huh.
So now we have a lot of data to strategize and everything like that.
Wow.
So it just really depends on the niche, and you never know when a video is going to take off.
Yeah.
And I explain to clients and potential clients all the time, like the average it takes me to help someone get a channel monetized is about 5 to 6 months, based on what I've done with all the channels I've gotten monetized. It could take longer. I always tell them it could take longer. It could be faster. It just really depends on if you get a video to take off or not. And if you stay consistent enough.
So what would be your tip for someone who wants to start on YouTube and get monetized?
So the biggest tip, of course, is being consistent.
Right.
Right? That's the hardest part. Because what I've seen a lot of people, they would try to start a YouTube channel, but in 1 month, they either quit or they slow down. Because even at just like one video a week, they start to, after a month, they realize like, oh, it's not that easy to get views.
Right.
And it starts, for a lot of people, it starts playing mental tricks on them. For example, like let's say you spend 4 hours editing a video, and then you get only like 20 views. That could mess with someone's mind a lot.
Of course.
It could discourage people a lot. So after doing YouTube for a while, I understand like why people quit so often.
Right. Because they don't see the view and the result.
Yeah. So for me, I always tell people that you should look at it as a year-long project. And you need to stay consistent for at least one video a week.
Right. So at least commit to like 52 video a year.
Yes. Play the long game. And then from there, you can decide whether you want to continue or not. Because it takes time, like some people will get lucky and the video will go viral within like the first month. But a lot of others won't get that lucky. So it takes time to build the audience and to build the views. And it also takes a lot of time for YouTube to start learning what your channel is about in order for it to start recommending and pushing it out with their algorithm. So within like the first, I would say 20 to 30 videos, YouTube is like learning what your channel is all about.
Learning who you are.
Yeah.
So why do you think some people video, like their first video, like instantly went viral?
Sometimes it's just like the right topic, the right time, and it could be a trending topic. Or like their first video, nowadays is a little easier too, because YouTube will push small
new channels
as well.
I've seen that.
Because they want to encourage new creators to create more.
Right.
So they will also push that out to test.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of like just everything coming together, like being with the right topic at the right time, YouTube picking it up and pushing it out, and also like a strong wave of audience coming in to view and engage with the content itself. For example, a video topic that does very well is why I moved to Thailand.
Of course.
Right?
Because so many people are interested in that.
Yes, a lot of people, not only foreigners, but a lot of Thai people.
They want to know.
They want to know, and they're curious, and they're also welcoming. So you'll see with these videos, you'll see it all the time. You'll see a lot of comments from Thai people saying like, welcome to Thailand or this and that. So that creates
Yeah.
the whole engagement and the boost.
Right. I think another topic that's related to like Thailand is dating in Thailand.
Yes, dating in Thailand is a big one.
It's a big one.
It's
Yeah.
a huge one. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen so many like video about dating in Thailand went viral.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a very big one, especially with the guys.
Right.
Because all the guys they're curious.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. So because you have lived in Orange County and I've lived there for 3 years, well, let's talk a little bit about like the lifestyle difference between Orange County and Thailand.
Okay. So with Orange County, because I grew up there and I lived there basically all my life, Orange County is very spread out. It's very big.
It is.
It's very suburban. So there's a lot of families down there as well. So there's not a lot of things to do in terms of new things to do every week. You know, a lot of my friends, they're on the older side as well. So you have like your daily life that you're pretty much living. If you have a family and a job, that's what your daily life looks like. You know, you're basically going to work, then you come home, you take care of your family, and maybe once in a while you go out to do like an activity or you hang out with your friends, right? Same thing with me because I didn't have a regular corporate job, but my job allowed me to work at home a lot, or during my fitness training years, all I did was train clients.
Right.
And being an entrepreneur, I work 6-7 days.
That's normal.
It's normal, it's natural. Even though I don't work the whole day necessarily,
I get it.
I have to do something every day.
Right.
Right. And it's just like a daily kind of routine. You're working, and then everyone else is working and living their own lives too. So unless you have like a huge amount of friends who are very social and are out a lot, you're hanging out with your friends like maybe once, twice, maybe 3 times a week if you're super social. But for me, it was more like I would get together with my friends like once a week, maybe once every other week, because everyone's busy with their own lives, right?
That's true. Yeah.
But in Bangkok, there's always something going on every single weekend. Even during the weekdays, there's always something new. Especially for what I see at the malls, there's always like some kind of events. Sometimes there's concerts. Sometimes there's different like food fairs. So every single week there's something to do. And then every night, if you wanted to go out and do something, it's there.
Right.
Right. And there's stuff that's open late as well.
Right.
Versus like Orange County, a lot of places or businesses close down like at 10, 11 o'clock on the weekdays. And you don't have that many like nightlife or at all. LA is a little different. There's a little more.
Yes.
But for the most part, I think it's still the same. Unless you have a very social circle of friends.
Yeah.
You're still living like a day-to-day kind of routine life.
Yeah.
You know, over here, every day is different for me, kind of. Yeah, I still have my regular work that I do every day, but if I feel like doing something, I'll go out and do something.
Yeah.
It's very easy and it's very convenient.
So in a way, like life is a bit more exciting for you in Bangkok compared to like in OC.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Even though my circle of friends here is not that big yet, it's just there's just so many things to do that, and Bangkok is so big, I still haven't even scratched the surface on things to see and things to do and all of that.
Do you find it easy to make friends in Bangkok?
I don't. It's a little more challenging. Maybe because I haven't put much effort into it. But I know like making local Thai friends is a little more challenging.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, if you don't know the language.
For sure.
So now I just started going to a Thai language school to start learning more Thai.
Really? Okay.
You know, and as far as like making foreigner friends, I don't go out as much during the night, or I'm not in areas where they might be hanging out. So it's a little more challenging to meet people. But as far as like reaching out to people, once you do reach out and once you're able to actually connect in person, it is pretty easy because everyone's pretty friendly for the most part.
I find it super easy to meet people from the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also find it easy like in the US as well.
Right.
In fact, I would say like a lot of my friends in the US are influencer of some
Right.
sort.
Yeah.
And then I just meet them through Instagram.
Right.
And then once I meet one person, I get to meet like more and more.
It just starts that domino effect.
Exactly. Like with I have like my old friends group in Bangkok,
Right.
obviously, but with my new friend group, it all started with me reaching out to one person.
Yeah.
And that one person just introduced me to like everyone, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of like putting in the effort to reach out to
Yeah.
actually do that, you know?
I think it's important to like do that. Like with social media, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Because social media is also like a way where people can like take a peek into your life
Right.
and see if you have like more or less the same vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same vibes, same interests and things like that.
Yeah.
So like once you do meet them, it's very easy. It's very
Mm-hmm.
easy to connect and go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think about like the traffic in Bangkok? Because in Orange County there's no traffic at all. It was like I was living in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and then when I moved to OC, I was like, this is heaven. Like, I can get anywhere in 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're very spoiled in OC.
Yeah.
The streets are wide, the roads are wide, and if we do run into traffic, it's usually on the highways during
Yeah.
like just peak hours.
Yeah,
And
or just like, going to LA or going to San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But LA, there's a lot more traffic,
right.
and I think sometimes it's just as bad. But Bangkok traffic is bad, like especially during peak hours is super bad, right? But the thing here about that is the public transportation infrastructure is very good. You know, so even though there's traffic, if you're not driving, it's still easier to get around. Versus like LA,
Yeah,
there's really no like
no public transportation.
public transportation system
Yeah.
that's set up really well.
Yeah,
So if there's traffic up there, you're stuck.
for sure.
You know, there's no other options. You still have to just be in a car. So I think it's just how you navigate it. If you're driving a car here, it's gonna take so much time,
Yeah.
right? But if you're using the BTS or the subway, it's very easy. It's very
Yeah.
convenient.
So I would assume that you probably mostly use the BTS here.
Yeah, I use the BTS. I jump onto a Grab bike a lot.
What do you think about Grab Bike?
I love it, but
Isn't it like dangerous?
it's very dangerous, and I should get a helmet soon.
Yeah,
But it's just so convenient,
it is.
you know, and
It is.
and I find that the speed here is slower than the US, and that's why like
For sure.
it's not as scary to jump on the bike. But keep in mind, it did take me a couple years before I even like was ready to jump on a bike. You know, so
Yeah.
if you're traveling here for the first time, I wouldn't recommend trying it unless
Yeah.
you're like you're brave or you're good to go.
Do you know how to drive a bike or a scooter?
Yes, I've
Did
done.
you learn that here in Thailand?
I've done that. Yeah, I learned and did that in Chiang Mai.
Wow.
Driving in Bangkok, I'm not ready for that
Yeah,
just yet.
for sure.
You know, because Chiang
Yeah.
Mai is less traffic, is more chill, so it's easier to drive up there.
Yeah.
You know, versus Bangkok, it's just like
Yeah, I think
Crazy.
it would be way too stressful to drive any type of vehicle in Bangkok.
yeah,
So I actually got my driver license the first time in the US.
right.
So I learned how to drive in the US. And when I moved back here and then when I like drive in Bangkok, it stressed me out so much.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, like it's like okay, first of all, Google Map doesn't work that well in
Right.
Bangkok, and then second, like I have to be careful like all around, meaning that I
Right.
have to like be aware of the bike
Yeah.
and also the pedestrian
Yeah.
and another car.
And
So
another
there's
car,
too
yeah.
many things going on all at once that
Right.
like the stress of driving here just not worth it. It's more worth it to just pay someone to drive for you like
Yeah.
a taxi,
Right.
and it's pretty affordable compared
Yes.
to the US.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
affordable here.
It is. It is.
Relatively
Yeah.
speaking, compared to like
Right.
the U.S. For example, if you take an Uber car from Orange County to LAX, it'll cost you like close to $100.
Yes.
for $100 US, and that's like a hour ride. Here, an hour ride would cost you like $20 to $30.
Less than that, I
Less
would
than
say.
that, less than that, depending on the
10 to
distance.
20, depending on the distance.
Yeah, depending on the distance. So
For
it's,
sure.
it's very affordable here to do that.
Yeah.
And the biggest difference I see with the driving over here, you have to drive defensively.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Versus
For
the
sure.
US, you can be more aggressive. You don't have to worry about all the things you talked about. So I can see the stress of driving.
It's very stressful. So what about the difference in the cost of living in Aussie versus Thailand? Because personally, I don't like when a lot of people on the internet are trying to tell people like Thailand is so cheap, because I don't think it is as cheap as people say it is. But what do you think?
For me, I'm on that boat somewhat. It can be as cheap as you want it to be, or it can be as expensive as you want it to be. Right? So it just really depends on what kind of lifestyle and what kind of budget you have and what kind of comfort you want. Right? I always tell people, like, when I say something is cheap, I always add a note in there that is relatively speaking to the US dollars. It's cheap for me because I'm making my income in US dollars, in US wage. But I know that what I'm experiencing as cheap is not cheap for locals, right? So it's always relative. And, like, if you want comfort, it's, especially here in Bangkok, like, it could get up there.
Yeah.
It could get up there, and it's not as cheap as a lot of people are making it out to be.
Yeah.
And I know that, like, a lot of backpackers or influencers talking about how cheap it is, but, like, for example, paying like $500 a month for a condo, but they're paying $500 a month for a studio in a luxury condo. But that's not like, that's expensive for Thai people, right? For like the local wage, right? So I think they're making it out to be like, they're not talking about the comparison of like the US, they're making US dollars and things like that. So I see why you don't like that, and I don't like that as well when they're not adding like a disclaimer in there, like,
But I mean, I don't think it's only about that. I feel like in Thailand, if you were to eat Western food every day, it gets super expensive.
Oh yeah.
Or if you want to eat like really healthy food, that's also very expensive as well. And then the gym in Thailand is not as cheap.
Yeah.
Like in the US, you have the option to pay $10 to go to Planet Fitness.
Right.
In Thailand, there's no gym in Thailand that costs like $10 a month. So
no, not at all.
Yeah, so it's about like the lifestyle, because Thai people don't care as much about fitness and about like eating healthy.
Yeah.
People care more about like having a comfortable life and eating yummy food.
Right.
So then they would rather to like eat street food. And street food in Thailand is really cheap, by the way.
Yeah,
but
street
it's not
food is super
healthy.
cheap. Yeah.
It's not healthy at all. Like, I feel like if someone wants to live comfortably and also live a healthy lifestyle in Thailand, they would need about $2,000 to $3,000 a month.
I agree. 2,000 to 3,000 is a very comfortable lifestyle in Thailand, and that's including like being able to eat out at foreign restaurants, right? Like
and
American
also take
food,
Grab,
Italian.
like take taxi, and also travel like within Thailand and in Southeast Asia.
Like, it's totally doable for under 1,000 a month, but it's like bare minimum, and like street food.
Street
every
food
day, or
every
like
day.
cooking yourself.
Or even like using SkyTrain versus like taxi, because if you use taxi every day, that can be expensive as well.
Yeah, everything adds up. So, like I mentioned earlier, it can be as cheap as you want it to be, or as expensive as you want it to be.
I've actually seen a video on YouTube by Joyce, and under her video, there was a comment that like someone is spending like 500,000 baht in Thailand each month.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's like what, like 15,000 US dollars.
Yeah, I think so.
So it can be as expensive as you want, because there are luxury condo in Bangkok that cost even like 10,000 US dollars a month.
Like super luxury, like
ultra luxury. Yes, so Thailand is not as cheap as you think it is. But in Orange County, it's also not as expensive as what people make it sound like, because I feel like if you can find a room to rent
Yes.
for about $800 a month.
Right.
Yeah, so that's also option there.
Yeah, that's
as
also
well.
an option. If you're comparing like a 1 bedroom apartment right now in Orange County, depending on the city too, like in Irvine, where I lived for quite a while, the average 1 bedroom is about $2,500
Right now.
right now.
Yeah.
So, and it's going up every year.
Yeah, for
so,
sure.
So that's why I could see why people are saying that it's getting expensive,
Yeah.
but also they're comparing their wage to that.
Right.
So it's like saying that it's expensive for them because they're living there, earning the current wage they're earning.
Yeah.
And then so now they're coming here, experience things like that for cheaper, but only because they're still making U.S. wage.
Yeah. So the key is to make the money in the US and then come over to Thailand and then live here.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You want to experience a more comfortable
A
lifestyle.
more comfortable life.
Right.
Yeah, like you wouldn't be like a millionaire, but you would live a very comfortable life like that. Yeah.
But if you're a millionaire, you're gonna be comfortable anywhere.
For sure. You would be comfortable in the US as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so it was really interesting to like talk to you about this and get your view, as like someone from the US living in Thailand, because I did the opposite. I'm Thai and I was living in the USA, so it's good to like exchange like our views.
Right.
So,
it was fun. It's been fun.
Well, thank you very much for like being on my YouTube channel, and hopefully like we can make another video again in the future.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure, and thank you for having me.
โอเคขอบคุณค่ะ
ขอบคุณครับ